Hey everyone, Caleb with Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with a very interesting video that I'm sure a lot of you guys that are resellers and even buyers of books and collectors of books, it's something I'm sure a lot of you have thought, and it's, should I break up a set of books? I'm sure we've all come across a set of books, guys, at some point, and you're like, oh, I could sell it for X much more if I break it apart, or it's worth more if I have a complete set, or this or that, or maybe you're the collector and you're like, oh, this set that I'm looking at, it's so cool, but it's missing one book. What do I do? So guys, let me just tell you right off the bat, people sell books out of a whole set. They sell individual titles all the stinking time, and it can actually be a lot more profitable for people to actually break up these sets. So for those of you that are collectors, you can actually hop on eBay. Yeah, you might have to check in on eBay like once a year or a couple times a year to see if your particular one's up, if it's a more rare of a set. But for those of us that are sellers, guys, sometimes it can be a lot more profitable to break up a particular set. So with that said, I actually have a cool set of books right now. So I have a sticky note right here. This is how I keep track of what I paid for books, what I'm asking for the book, all that sort of information. It's very complex. In fact, I can just show you guys right here and right now. So that's all the info about this thing. I like to do just a short plug of the particular book or the set of books. I like to mark down all the pertinent information. So this particular set, guys, was from 1902. I bought the set for $40. This set, it was a set of 10. I only had 9, and I actually had a customer this morning. Actually, it was last night at 11. So I saw it this morning at like, I don't know, 3 or something like that, as one does. And they were like, hey, I don't want the whole set. I want just this one particular copy out of this entire thing. They wanted the atlas out of this particular set. This set was the Century Dictionary. And they were like, I will pay you $200. And I want to pay like reasonable shipping if I have to. I'll pay up to $20 for shipping and handling. And I was like, listen, pal, if you're paying $200 for it, you can get free shipping. But honestly, I could have gotten an extra $20 out of it. But end of the day, what I had to actually pay for shipping was like $9 and some change, plus a box, plus the packaging. Let's just say $11. So I'm not too worried about that. With that said, though, guys, I do want to caveat that with. So I sold that one particular book. I know I've done a video in the past about just what eBay takes out for fees. But this one I think is a little more of a, oh, that really hurts for what eBay takes out for fees. So guys, again, I sold this one for $200. Obviously, I ate the shipping for that, so nothing too exciting for that one. But I'm just going to tell you guys what eBay took out of that $200. So $200, opening up my eBay app, doing all that sort of stuff. So eBay took $19.85 for their ad fee, and then they took in addition to that, they took $33.26 as other fees. So all told, that's about $50 in fees that they took, which really is a bummer. And then you have to think that I just paid $11 basically for all the shipping stuff. So it's like, wow, I didn't make $200. I did have a good chunk taken out of that. So what does that end up being, like $60 off the top, $65 off the top, somewhere in there? So I mean, it's not terrible, though. I mean, I still did end up making good money on it. So I paid $40 for that set, as I already mentioned. So that sale more than covers what I paid for the set a couple times over. So that is still a win for me. But it is something I do want to make sure you guys are aware of. With that said, though, guys, again, this particular buyer wanted just one of the books out of the set. So, guys, I'm just going to show off this particular book from the set. Again, there are 8 copies I have left of this. When it's a full set, it is 10 books in total. But these things, guys, I mean, these things are chunky and they are heavy too. I thought it was really funny. First off, I had to put this in my second to largest box. I actually had to buy another size up of boxes for this set because I was, in case I was going to sell this complete set, I had to have a bigger box or else I was going to ship out literally 9 different boxes for my other size one. So I had to get larger ones so I could actually ship out a few of them. However, I still think it'll end up being 2 boxes even with that larger one. And that larger one, guys, I believe is 15 inch by 15 inch by 12, something like that. Whatever they sell on Walmart.com. That was the best deal I had for boxes at the time. But guys, again, this set of books is beautiful. I mean, honestly, I would love seeing this on my own shelf, just sitting there looking all awesome. Only issue, of course, is it's ex-library books. However, guys, when you are selling books, especially sets of books, there are people who have been looking for that one particular book left in the set that they've been trying to collect for their whole life. There are people who will buy the ex-library book and they won't care what's so stinking ever. They will pay $200 for a book that is not worth $200 just because they want to complete that set. Or potentially the guy that I sold it to, it looked like he had his own store. I'd like to share some more information on the person, but I'm not going to because I didn't get permission. But it looked like they had their own store, which is interesting, and I honestly suspect there's a good chance that that person was buying this particular one to finish out their set so they could sell the set for a little bit more money. So that is something you do see happen quite often with sets like this on eBay and elsewhere. People will have like a partial set like mine, and they'll be asking $475 for it, which is what I had my list priced for. But if you have the complete set, it might be worth $1,000. Things like this, guys. Some sets, especially the antique sets, guys, if you go from I have most of the books to I have all the books, sometimes like the price more than doubles. It's insane. There was actually an encyclopedia set that I sold a few years back. I've mentioned it to you guys several times before, the one that I drove on down to Salem to deliver to the person. That particular set, guys, it went from, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but let's just say it went from $400 if you had all but one book. But if you get that last book, which I actually went out and bought the last book, I paid like $19 for it. It goes to like $600 or something like that. Like, it wasn't just like a little bit more. It was like a good chunk more. So obviously for that particular set, I went out and bought the extra book because it wasn't too hard to get. But I, of course, tried to get one that was as close to matching as possible. And in the end, I didn't find one that was the exact same publication here, which is okay in some cases. The buyer was okay with it, but that is something to keep in mind. But with all that said, though, guys, that is a long way of me saying, when you are listing these things, when you are making your listings, it might be worth putting at the bottom of your listing, hey, I'm willing to break up this set. This set is not a complete set as it is. Feel free to reach out. The worst thing I can do is say no, something along those lines. I've had so many incomplete sets through the years. Remember, I've shared with you guys the Charles Dickens set. I have it still over there. No one's asked about it for a little while, which is interesting on eBay. But I've had that set for a while, and I've had people be like, hey, I see you have an incomplete set. Can I have this one and this one? Can I have just this copy? Can I have 5 of these copies? Well, not 5 of these copies. 5 copies of different ones. I have lots of people just asking to parse out all these different sets, and it's really simple, really easy to do, and guys, it can make you so much more money. So, again, for the case of this one one book, selling one book, multiplied my money several times over. For the Charles Dickens set, I honestly think I remember paying $20 or something like that. I believe it's on one of my sticky notes, so I can actually get the actual figure for you guys if I really cared or if you guys really wanted. But I went from that, and like the first book, I made all that plus a whole lot more back right away. When you guys parse out sets, you can make so much more money. It is insane. Of course, other times it is better to keep track of the entire set, to sell the entire set as a set. It really varies on what you guys particularly want to do and what you can see is more profitable. That is something you have to check on eBay yourself, stuff you have to Google yourself. You have to see what people are going for, what these books are going for, what people are paying for these particular books when you're doing it. Guys, that is what you have to do. Don't ask me what you should do if you have this set and it's missing one book. I don't know. It is case-by-case thing. Some sets are worth so much more if you have it all. Other sets, it actually can be worth less if you have all the books versus if you parse them out. It's really weird, really strange, and sort of annoying at the same time, because it's like, whoa, this is a really cool set. What do you mean you only want to pay $35 for it when I can sell an individual copy for $35? What? It's funny how that can happen. But with all that said and done, though, guys, a big takeaway for all this is there's a lot of money to be had. Believe it or not. And there's a lot of other things I could say about this. There's a lot of things I'd like to say about this. One thing that I'm going to leave you guys with that I think is going to be something a lot of you guys will ask is actually, if you have a buyer ask for just one copy of the set, what I do and what I would honestly recommend you guys do is make a separate listing. So have the separate listing be like just the one copy from this thing for the price that they said they'd pay. Do that, and then that way if they do try to buy it through the other one and then they're like, oh, you didn't send all the books, and it's like somehow a scam. I haven't had anyone try to scam me with that, but just in case, I always like to have just the separate listing. Plus it also has it so eBay they have the paper trail of, oh, this is my communication with this person, they bought this, it says right here that it's only this one book or these 3 books or something like that. Guys, you don't even have to change the for me, I just do a sell-similar thing. I leave all the same photos, and I just change the title around and change the description to be like, hey, this is what it is, and change the price, and be like, here it is, all this to the buyer, send it to the buyer, be like, here it is, this is what it is. I left all the same photos, but it's just the one book you asked for. That's what I generally do. That way you don't have to spend 3 hours taking new photos, doing a new description, all that sort of stuff. They don't really care. They've already gone through the photos. They don't need to go through photos again. They already gave you an offer for the books. So that is something you guys can do to cover your butt and save some time at the same time. So with that said, that's my little life hack on that sort of thing. If you guys thought that life hack was helpful, or if you like this video at all, be sure to subscribe. You can do it up there or down there. And thank you for watching. Be sure to check out one of my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.